What's the problem with the Detroit Lions? Welcome back to an all-new episode here at Let's Talk Lions. My name is Jay. Thank you for hanging out because let's be honest, there's not many Lions fans anymore hitting F11 on that keyboard, just rebooting, looking for more Lions news or thoughts or information because, quite frankly, I understand it. It's tough to hit F11 for myself, trying to reboot after a loss like we suffer on Thanksgiving. So I get it, and that's why I'm thanking you for being here. So today, as a whole, I just wanted to look at what exactly I believe is holding this team back from putting up any wins, from being able to just make it past and not lose to a field goal in the last 1 second of the game because we allow the other team to hold on to the ball for 8 minutes at the end. Like, what is the problem with the Detroit Lions? That's kind of what I want to focus on here. And I believe that the problem is an abundance of problems. It's like when you go to the store and all you need are 2 limes, but you go and buy the bag of limes that have like 9 to 12 in there. You know you're not going to use 9 to 12 limes. Just go and buy 2 of them because they're going to go bad. You're going to throw them out. It's a sad day unless you're making a key lime pie. In that case, buy the bag. I don't know. Even at that point, it takes like 4. It's a very forward taste. My wife came home the other day, brought me this beautiful orchid. Oh my God. So vibrant, so young, so beautiful. I do love a good orchid, so still have to name it. It's probably going to be named after something from Lost, but when I look at the Lions, the major problem to me is the offensive disconnect. There is no chemistry offensively for the Detroit Lions. From the play calling, whether it's Anthony Lynn or it's Dan Campbell. When it comes to Goff and the wide receivers, zero chemistry. This entire idea of let's just run the ball, it's not working. And the constant 3 and outs. To me, there is so much disconnect offensively. There's no chemistry. You're not going to win, man. You're not going to win. First, when I look at play calling, whether it's Anthony Lynn or Dan Campbell, there is this odd, specifically when looking at Anthony Lynn, him and Jared Goff have just never seemed to connect. They've never seemed to work together harmoniously. And then we kind of swap over. We look at Dan Campbell, starts to call plays. Quite frankly, there has been no click. The play calling on 3rd down is one of the most atrocious things I've seen. The amount of times we're just like, well, it's 3rd and 30. Let's run the ball. Let's call a garbage screen. It works for other teams, and I get it. But it's not working here. And what is the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a change, right? Hoping that some sort of difference is made. And we're just playing in this weird insanity loop of, hey, it's 3rd down. Let's try to run the ball again. My God, we have to actually throw the ball. Specifically looking at the Thanksgiving game, finally, when we opened up Jared Goff to throwing the ball to Josh Reynolds, throwing the ball to Khalif Raymond, when we started throwing it to Hockenson, where did the touchdowns come from? It was Josh Reynolds, TJ Hockenson, throws to the end zone to the right side. Like, that's where there was success. The ground game wasn't working yet. We just kept running the ball. Oh my God, just at least try something new. That's all I'm saying. Just try something new. If it doesn't work, doesn't work. But try it. Let Goff huck the ball a couple times. Because when we did yesterday, it worked. That's all I'm saying. The play calling has just been so static. It's been so bush. There was one game where it was fun, and that was against LA, and we pulled out every trick in the book, and the play calling was wild. And you know what? We played great. So offensively, with the disconnect, that leads me to point B, and it's Goff having zero chemistry with any of the wide receivers out there. I understand we don't have a wide receiver core where there's a true wide receiver 1. It's maybe Josh Reynolds, and that's the only person he has any former chemistry with. And all in all, it's just not good. Finally, Goff connects with Josh Reynolds yesterday in the Thanksgiving game. He even connects with Hockenson. 2 touchdowns coming from both of those plays, as I said. All in all, I look and I'm just like, why are we not doing this more? Why are we not trying to do this more? Because we're just in this weird loop of let's try to run the ball. And don't get me wrong, I love that we finally have an aggressive running game in Detroit with DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams and Jamar Jefferson now. However, when I look at it, it's not working. It's not working. So try something new. Try something different. The other team knows what we're going to do before we even do it. So what's the point? I watched that Thanksgiving game. The amount of times Jack Fox had to trot out on the field after 3 downs in a row of nothing happening. Running the ball, getting shut down, running the ball, getting shut down, running the ball, getting shut down. Fox trots out there, kicks the ball, Foxtrot, that's good. It ain't working, man. Just stop. The offensive disconnect is real. The disconnect from the coaches to the players, from Goff to the wide receivers. It's just like eating those vanilla wafer cookies we used to have back in the early 90s. It's dull and it's flaky. I still ate them, but... The other major problem with the Detroit Lions are the penalties, specifically the offensive penalties. Everything we just talked about, you have any idea? You do have every idea of how difficult it is for the Lions to score just in general, just to make it down to the other field and get a TD. Like, we don't need anything else holding us back yet. We find a way every drive to have multiple offensive penalties, whether it's holding or it's an offsides, we're jumping, the false starts, you name it. We're doing it, and all they are self-inflicted wounds that we just keep shooting ourselves in the kneecaps. My kneecaps can't take any more of these bullets. The offensive penalties, I just want to puke. I just sit there and I'm like, oh my God, it's over and over again. Specifically looking at the Thanksgiving game, shoot. In the second quarter, we're on the Chicago Bears 30. We're driving to the end zone. Back to back penalties, moving us out to the 50-yard line. Nothing happens. Nothing transpires. What happens in the fourth quarter on our last drive, trying to get down to the Chicago end zone? Beautiful pass to Reynolds. He grabs some yardage, 12, 14 yards. Then Jamal Williams putting up a 19-yard run down the center of the field. That gets us past the 50-yard line, and then self-inflicted wounds. Penalty to penalty to penalty again, pushing us back, and we got a punt. The offensive penalties are just terrible. There's zero discipline offensively. Hockenson with the holds, the line with the holds or the jumps. Our offense as a whole creates zero margin for error on the penalty side, yet we make those penalties multiplied by 10. It is increasingly frustrating week after week. That Thanksgiving game as a whole was so representative of our season thus far, all just compiled into one single game. The offensive penalties and the disconnect are enough to make me want to kill that orchid that I got. And I don't want to do that because it's beautiful. I love it. But it's enough to make me want to boil over. Defensively, don't get me wrong, we have our issues. However, that's a whole other video, a video where I'm going to break down the defense. But quite frankly, the defense has stepped up in ways that are both baffling and beautiful. I love what Aaron Glenn has done with our defense. We're going to dig into that in another video. As a whole, not even offensive versus defensive, you tell me, what do you think the main problem with the Detroit Lions are? What is the main problem? What are the main problems? Drop it in the comments. Boil it down for me like 40 gallons of maple sap right into 1 gallon of maple syrup. Yeah, that's an equation for you, 40 to 1. 40 gallons of sap to 1 gallon of syrup. Man, that's wild. That is a lot of sap. Why do I know? I probably did it a few times. I did. It's beautiful.